So it's Sunday the 21st of January 2024 and we are in York to do the Brass Monkey Half Marathon. So the Brass Monkey Half Marathon is widely recognised as one of, if not the fastest half marathon in the north of England.
So how many times have you done this, John?
I've run it 4 times seriously. I've done a 76, 75, 74 and a 73.
You're not going to be anywhere near that today.
About 10 miles I might be. So 2 of my 3 fastest times ever over the half marathon were set on this course back in the mid-2000s, and I believe you've run this once before, haven't you?
I've started it twice and finished it once. Story of my life. Yes, I've run it in 84.18, I believe.
And that was your second fastest time ever, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yes.
So a fast course in the right conditions.
So it's a chilly morning, but it's not quite as bad as it has been over the last few weeks, and it certainly isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there's a breeze you might be able to hear on camera at the minute. It'll be in our face going out for the first half, but then blow us back towards the race course in the second half. So when I first started running, this race was very popular to the extent you were told to get your postal entry in at least 3 weeks before, otherwise they might run out of numbers. Then over the years it's sold out instantly with online entries, and now they've had to introduce a ballot system to stop the fastest finger first mentality. So I didn't originally get a place in the ballot for this, Dawn did, but I managed to pick up a place from friend Simon. Right, so the course goes out for about 5 miles, you do a sort of a lollipop loop and then come back on the same 5 miles you went out on.
So what is the aim of this race today? For me, it's going to be just to run basically as hard as I can. I don't know really what that time's going to be, but I'm sure I'll find out at the end. Hello, John.
So every time we run with Suzanne in a race in York, it ends in disaster. we have a data set of 1 so far. Brass Monkey 2024. We're off.
So the last half marathon I did was the Humber Coastal Half Marathon in September, where I completed it in 1:38.xx. So today I thought it would be reasonable to expect to go sub 1:38 because the Coastal Half Marathon had 2 miles of off-road terrain. So I decided before the race I was going to set off at 7:30 pace and see how the legs felt in the first couple of miles. It's very important in those first couple of miles not to get carried away, because you can actually lose your race in that first mile. The conditions on the day weren't as bad as we expected. It was supposed to be around about 40-mile-an-hour winds, but it was nowhere near that. I think round about 20.
So you run through the village of Bishopthorpe, including here passing the official residence of the Archbishop of York, for those interested in those things, hence the name Bishopthorpe. So the first couple of miles were sheltered from any wind as you're passing by houses and pubs.
As we came out of the village of Bishopthorpe, around about 2 miles, we hit a headwind. This wasn't too bad because at this point there was still quite a lot of runners around us, and we took it in turns tucking in behind one another. I really enjoyed those first few miles. Here you can see me running alongside my club mate Suzanne. We'd agreed to run together for the first few miles.
So then I spotted another clubmate, Rob, in the distance. I've been giving him some training advice and a plan to help him get back from a horrendous leg injury, so it's nice to see him running along strongly. So those early miles were ticking away quite nicely at under 7:30 pace as planned, and it really was a glorious day to be out running one of the best road races in the area.
It's a good opportunity in races that you do pre-marathon to practice the fueling strategy that you might use in the marathon. So today I decided I was going to take 2 SIS gels, one around 4 miles and one around 8 miles. I've been using SIS gels for about 15 years, I guess, and I find that they really sit quite nicely in my stomach. I've never had a problem with them, so I've never seen any reason to actually use any other gel.
So the importance of practicing a gel strategy was demonstrated by Suzanne, who took a caffeine gel which she hadn't had before and struggled through miles 5, 6 and 7, dropping off here. So an interesting bit of the course here, around 6 miles, you can see quite a lot of mud on the road. I actually slipped once or twice, so it was hard to keep your feet, but it was pleasant running through the lovely Yorkshire countryside.
So if you're pacing a half marathon right, you should feel in the first half of the race that it's like a hard tempo run. And then as the miles click by, you start to pick up that pace and it feels a little bit more of an effort.
So that was certainly the case as we passed through the village of Appleton Roebuck here. Really good crowd support out on this part of the course.
When you leave the village, you're on the homeward push. By this stage, you're really feeling it and you have to concentrate that little bit harder to keep the pace going. I knew I was on for the time I wanted and my head was up and I was ready for the last few miles.
So one of the things I really enjoy about entering races is meeting up with people, particularly ones you've not seen for a long time. So here we've got Mick, a member of Saltaire Striders. We've known him for years and it's great to see him out there still putting the work in and competing. Mick also told us he subscribes to this channel, so why don't you be like Mick and hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already.
So here you can see in the latter stages of the race we're more spread out, but luckily the wind was now behind us.
So I must say here, seen from close quarters, this really was an impressive display of consistent and strong road running from Dawn.
As we went back through the village of Bishopthorpe, I knew we were only a couple of miles from the end. At this stage, this is where I really put the work in. I told myself, come on Dawn, you can do this. Pick the pace up, think strong, get to that finish line and get the time that you deserve.
Nice bit of the course for me this, as you can see, a war memorial and a medieval church for me to admire.
So I'm into the last mile and a half and I'm feeling strong. I get to mile 12 and I look at my watch and it was a 7:15. That's the fastest mile so far. So I'm thinking to myself, I can do this. I can actually run the next mile as quick as the one I've just done. So around the corner into the finish area and I think I'm nearly there and then I see a 400-metre sign. My goodness, the grimace was on now and I really tried my hardest to get to that line as fast as I could.
So yes, you can see Dawn is running so hard here, she's actually gone diagonal for the last 300 metres or so. So yes, a typically impressive sprint finish here from Dawn, rounding off the race, the final 0.1 of a mile at 6:33 pace.
So I was really pleased that I'd actually completed the Brass Monkey Half Marathon in 1:36:42, which was 2 minutes quicker than I'd done at the Humber Coastal Half Marathon and was actually in line with where I thought I was in September going into that October marathon last year.
And coming very close in third from Penistone is Dawn Maroon. Is Dawn here? Hey, congratulations. Yes.
Congratulations!
60 to 64 category.
So my performance today gave me an age gradient of 85.92%, which was really pleasing, and that would have been a time of 75 minutes and 53 seconds had I been a senior lady.
So for those of you who haven't come across it, age grading works by comparing your time and age with the fastest time run by somebody of your age and gender and giving you a percentage of that result.
So, having plugged my time into the Jack Daniels calculator, it has given me a marathon time of 3 hours 21:15. Now, to run 3 hours 21:15, obviously, I would have to do the marathon training that is required for that. This is pleasing, and hopefully come April, I'll be able to execute a marathon around about that time.
So for me, obviously running alongside Dawn, creating this video, I ran a time that would have got me inside my marathon target. I would have run about 3 hours and 13 minutes. So did that feel like marathon effort for me? Well, aerobically, yes, but my legs need further strength and conditioning. I felt I could have kept going at about 18 miles at the pace that we did at the Brass Monkey Half Marathon. But I felt that my legs would eventually have fatigued and I would have slowed down. So aerobically, I feel I'm in good shape to hit my target, but I need to do further work building up that resilience to undertake 26.21 miles of relentless road running. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video of the Brass Monkey Half Marathon. If you have, please give it a like, and if you would like to see us train towards that Manchester Marathon on the 14th of April 2024, please consider subscribing to our channel. We post regular updates twice a week. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.